5.5 remaining in the opening quarter. Game tied at 7. And going to the outside is Jones, and he goes nowhere. Jaquay Thomas and Trent Cole make the stop. Romo, when he gets out of the pocket, can do some great things over the last 2 seasons. Take a look at that. He has the highest completion percentage and the highest passer rating in the NFL. We mentioned that to him last night, and he said, really? He said, I'm going to have to get outside of the pocket more.
Well, you know what it was? I think, it's all instinct. I mean, it's not something that he thinks, I'm going to drop back and then get outside of the pocket. He drops back, feels pressure, starts to move, continues to look upfield and throw the ball, and doesn't even think that he's out of the pocket.
Dead in the pocket this time and right on target to Owens, who gets stopped just a little short of the first down by Quentin Michael, who's done a nice job backing up Dawkins while Dawkins was hurt. Crowd gives Owens a salute. Owens said this week, as we take a look at it, he says, there's love in those boos. I guess it's all in the ear of the beholder, huh?
Right, and that's an interesting pattern there, because I was talking to Terrell Owens last night, and he says, we don't run slants anymore. He just ran a slant there. He said, that was my big pattern. He said, I think we ought to do more of it. So maybe he not only told us that, but that's one of the first slants he says that he's run.
Barber is in the game. The fake to him on 3rd and 1. That buys Romo a ton of time, but the Phillies secondary does good work. And then a dump off to Barber. And Barber inside the 40 and all the way down to the 32-yard line for a first down.
Right, and it's just the type of thing we were talking about. Tony Romo getting outside the pocket and to his right. And that's what Jim Johnson didn't want. He wanted to keep him in the pocket or make him come to his left. You see, he has time here, very good protection. Then he gets out of the pocket. Where does he go? He goes to the right. And the thing that always impresses me about him is as he's running, he always has his eyes upfield looking to make a completion.
Barber's father, Marion Jr., played with the Jets. Both went to the University of Minnesota. This is Marion III, and he's still in the game, and the fake to him again. And Romo this time, again, improvising, dumps it off to Barber again. And that's another first down. So 2 plays in a row where he fakes to Barber. Barber goes out into the pattern and makes the catch. And Romo is now 6 for 6 for 77 yards.
And both of them, again, were Tony Romo getting out of the pocket, going to his right. Play fake, get up in the pocket, get out to his right, and find Marion Barber again. And again, that's just his instinct. He doesn't even know. If you would ask him, he probably thought that he made a play-action fake and made a drop-back pass.
That was good for 14. The prior play was good for 22. Here goes Barber again, and Barber is inside the 5 and takes it to the 2-yard line. Deion Anderson, the fullback, throwing a block. So 2 passes to Barber, and now this run by Barber, and it's a first down and goal.
That was one of the things that Jim Johnson, the defensive coordinator of the Eagles, was worried about, the running of Marion Barber. He said he thinks that Marion Barber is the toughest runner in the NFL and the hardest guy to bring down. I'll tell you, if you think he's hard now in the first quarter, wait until you see him in the fourth quarter.
That was a 16-yard run. He stays in the game. 2 receptions and a run, and now another fake to him, and Romo will throw to the back of the end zone, and leaping up and making the catch for the touchdown is Tony Curtis, the number 3 tight end. Tony Curtis, who caught a big pass in that game in Buffalo when they came from behind and produced that miracle finish on the 53-yard field goal. Tony Curtis, second-year tight end out of Portland State, for the touchdown.
Here you have your goal line offense, which is 3 tight ends. You go a bootleg. The coverage was pretty good by 37, Sean Considine there, but Romo makes a perfect throw. I mean, Tony Curtis caught that ball where only he was going to catch it. There was no way Considine or the defense could get to it.
Falk for the extra point. Romo, 7 out of 7, paying early dividends on that $66 million deal. 14-7 Dallas.
Tradition, pride, teamwork, spirit.
He's something. 25-20, and he scores! Tigers win!
heartbreak. Glory. NCAA college football on NASN.
In this jersey, I pledge to wreak havoc on my opponent's plus-minus.
To make one-timers happen way more than once.
I pledge that my team will scrap for every single point on the schedule.
In this jersey, I pledge that holes are only holes if they're open.
Shop.NHL.com presents the RBK Edge jersey. All 30 teams reinvented for more strength, more speed, more belief.
In this jersey, I pledge to play for the logo on the front, not the name on the back.
What do you pledge? Visit shop.NHL.com for your jersey.
Of Sunday Night Football, the Indianapolis Colts will be looking to bounce back from their only loss of the season. Happened today against the Patriots. For now, let's go back to Al Michaels.
Chargers. The game next Sunday night is Folk sends one into the night air to the 5-yard line. Terrell Buckwalter trucking his way up to the 26-yard line. 2:06 remaining in the opening quarter in Philadelphia. The Dallas Cowboys, who scored one touchdown in a first quarter all season coming into the night, have a pair here in Philly and lead 14-7.
Since 1989, Coca-Cola has provided more than $35 million in college scholarships. And as the NCAA's first corporate champion, Coca-Cola proudly supports 88 NCAA championships in 23 sports for 360,000 student athletes every year. Satisfying a thirst for learning, both in the classroom and on the field. The Coca-Cola Company and the NCAA.
Pressure guys for Dallas. DeMarcus Ware, 5.5 sacks. He comes on almost every pass play. Greg Ellis comes back from a torn Achilles, which he suffered last November. Didn't play until after the season began, but back in the starting lineup now for the second week in a row. Now McNabb, short drop, quick throw to the left side. That one is caught by Kevin Curtis, looking over in the offseason as a free agent acquisition from the Rams, tackled by Henry. A gain of 8.
You know, you look at Greg Ellis on one side and DeMarcus Ware on the other side, and in a three-man line, the two outside linebackers will always be the dominant pass rushers. And, you know, it's not the defensive ends. They're more like tackles. And then you got a nose tackle. And the inside linebackers are more run stoppers. Your pass rushers are the two outside linebackers.
Westbrook angles over the right side to pick up a first down on a second down and 2. Brian Westbrook taking the ball out to the 36-yard line.
Remember, Greg Ellis was a defensive end, and now he's playing linebacker, and he plays the run very well. I mean, he has very quick and very strong hands. And he goes pop, and he gets those hands right on the shoulder pads of the blocker, and he's just too strong for tight ends.
Number 1 draft choice back in '98. He and Flozell Adams had been with the Cowboys the longest at this point. And McNabb going deep, and he's looking in Reeves' direction, and that's Reeves back there covering on Reggie Brown, and Mr. Reeves is going to have a very active night, no doubt about it. Second and 10.
You know what they did on the first series there, the Eagles came out with 3 wide receivers, so the Cowboys had 6 defensive backs in there, and now they just got Reeves. But look, he's getting help from Roy Williams. You watch, see, there's Williams, number 31. So what they started, you know, you just stay deep. We'll give you help deep and help to the inside. And that was Roy Williams there. So they doubled on Reeves' side.
Reeves this time on the slot on the right defensive side. McNabb hands the ball on through the middle. And across the 40 to the 42-yard line goes Westbrook. Final minute of the opening quarter. Andy Reid now in his 9th year here, so he has faced the Cowboys 16 times in his 8 years at the helm, and he's won 12 of those games. 12-4 and 7-1 in Philadelphia.
And your heart just goes out to Andy Reid. I mean, Andy Reid is a great guy and a great coach, and having family problems like this is really tough.
And throwing, that'll be a first down to midfield as Anthony Henry makes the tackle on Curtis. After Curtis makes the catch, and we tick down to zeros to end the first quarter. Good entertaining period. Dallas scoring twice to lead 14-7. Philadelphia on the move right now, and Sunday Night Football resumes.
Is this the year the Cup comes to Buffalo?
To Carolina?
To Pittsburgh?
Is this the year someone scores 50 and 38?
In 37?
In 36? Is this the year someone scores 200 points?
Is this the year kids start taping their sticks like Stahl?
Is this the year someone scores 93?
Is this the year a forward becomes unstoppable?
Is this the year a goalie stops everything?
Is this the year we finally figure out who's dad's favorite?
Is this the year?
Is this the year?
Этот год? Is this the year?
Is this the year?
It's called football, but it's actually a game of hands. Those blessed with a great pair of mitts make the toughest catches routine.
When things go right, they really go right.
Great hands guys are especially valuable in the end zone, where they'll do whatever it takes to haul in a touchdown pass.
What a catch by Marvin Harrison! Touchdown! Touchdown!
Taking a look at our Latino Player of the Week, it is Tony Gonzalez for his performance against the Packers. The Kansas City Chief pulled down 10 catches for 109 yards, including a touchdown grab in this one, though the Chiefs did fall today at the hands of the 7-1 Packers. Right now in the season, 52 catches for 615 yards so far this season for Tony Gonzalez. Let's send it back out to Philadelphia.
Southeastern Pennsylvania, even for that guy. He loves coming into Philadelphia. He just loves to stir it up.
Yeah, he does. Did you hear any love in those boos? I was listening for it because you said he was saying that there's love in it. I didn't hear much love in those boos.
Yeah, he thinks there's love in those boos. That's a gain of 6 here for Westbrook, but as I say, it's an ear of the beholder.
Well, you know, he was very good for the Eagles. I mean, you know, you think they haven't had a top receiver in a long time, and he was that guy. And you know, I mean, he did, you know, go to the Super Bowl with them. So it wasn't like, you know, he was a bust here. I mean, Terrell Owens was a very good football player before he got here, and you know, he was here, and he is after he's here.
Tough love in those boos. 2nd and 3. McNabb over the middle, and that's incomplete. Coverage is good, intended for L.J. Smith, the tight end, and Brady James covering him on the play. McNabb and Owens together for a year and a half. 04 was pretty good. They went to the Super Bowl, and as you can see, almost a touchdown per game. And then all of the wide receivers won every 26 passes over his career. So clearly Owens was the best of the guys he has ever thrown to on the outside. Had a decent year again, but then 05 became a mess, and they finally suspended him and got rid of him. McNabb under pressure throws, and that is caught at the 32-yard line to L.J. Smith, coming back off groin surgery, so he's working his way back into the lineup. They go to him on 2 passes in a row, and this one is good for a first down.
You know, this whole thing starts with pass protection, and if you're going to The guy you have to get blocked is right there, DeMarcus Ware. I mean, he's the biggest and best pass rusher on this team, and William Thomas does a good job there to give Donovan McNabb time to get the ball to L.J. Smith.
From the 31, what a difference Thomas makes. Only 12 sacks in all of the games that he has played. And the one game he missed, a dozen sacks for the Giants. 16 in the games, all of the games that Thomas has played. That intended for Curtis is incomplete.
You ever notice that Donovan McNabb, when he throws a bad pass, it's really bad? I mean, it'll be like real low and away or real high. And you know, I was thinking about that the other day, and maybe that's why he doesn't throw a lot of interceptions. His bad passes, his guy doesn't get them, but your guy doesn't get them either. And like that one there, I mean, there was no way his guy was going to catch that, but there was no way a Cowboy was going to catch it either.
They're not just off, they're either in the ground or in the third row. Second and 10. McMahon is going to throw back, and that screen is busted up and read beautifully by Brady James. They set it up, and in came Brady James, and nobody blocked him, and there's a loss on the play of 4 yards.
And that's Brady James's play. I mean, the Cowboys are playing man-to-man, and you see Brady James. He's just watching here all the way. When they go out there for the screen, he just goes exactly with it. You know, it's tough. You like to throw a screen pass against a zone defense when the linebackers are dropping off. When the linebackers are playing man-to-man on the back, it's tough to get a screen.
3rd and 15. Donovan out of the gun, and then that is dropped out in the flat. That's Carell Buckhalter, who started to turn around before he looked the ball in. So this drive will stall at the Dallas 36-yard line. It'll be 4th down.
This is I was going to say it's a tough decision, but it's already been made. The Eagles are going to punt. I mean, you're right at that cusp there where you kick a field goal or punt. You better get this one inside the 10-yard line.
So Rocca, each of these teams with an Australian import as a punter. Matt McBriar does the kicking for Dallas, and Rocca's boot is fair caught at the 6-yard line by Patrick Creighton. 12.5 left in the half. Cowboys up by a touchdown.
NASN Trivia Timeout. What NFL quarterback holds the record for most consecutive games throwing at least one touchdown pass? Stay tuned. The answer is coming up.
There are 380,000 NCAA student athletes. And most of us will go pro.
Most of us will go pro in something other than sports.
In something other than sports. Go to ncaastudent.org to find out how.
Welcome back to NASN Trivia Timeout. Now, the answer. Longtime Baltimore Colts quarterback Johnny Unitas threw for at least one touchdown in an NFL record 47 consecutive games.
$1 billion.
Well, I think definitely I'm a better person now because I have more money.
And that's Tony Romo. He's got a great sense of humor. He's got an impish sense of humor. Loves to have fun. 1st and 10. The ball is at the 6-yard line. Barber is the running back, and this is Marion trying to get outside. Picks up 3, takes it to the 9. Remember what Bill Parcells said about Romo last year? I'll never forget. He said, you know, everybody's very excited about, you know, how Romo was playing. Bill said, we just have to keep him on the reservation.
Right, and I don't think that Tony Romo is a guy that you have to worry about going off the reservation. I mean, you know, some of those stories I think are inflated. I mean, he's with Britney Spears or something like that. He said he just happened to be in the same room with her, but you know, I think that's really not what Tony Romo is. What we're seeing tonight is what Tony Romo really is.
And there's Jerry Jones will be writing those checks. As Romo swings it to the outside, Owens bobbles and makes the catch, and it's close to a first down as he's tackled inbounds along the sideline by Lito Shepherd.
We were asking Terrell Owens last night about Lito Shepherd to one corner and Sheldon Brown the other, and he said, well, Sheldon Brown will be more physical. He'll jam me. And he said Lito Shepherd will tend to shadow you know, and not be physical, not try and bump him. Again, you know, both sides know each other very well from having played together and practiced together every day.
Eagles went out and drafted Shepherd and Brown in the same draft, and they in essence took over for Bobby Taylor and Troy Vincent, who'd manned the corners so stellarly for so many years. Romo, a little floater out of the pocket to Barber, and Barber is up to the 31-yard line, tackled there by Jaquay Thomas. And Tony Romo is pitching a perfect game at this point. He is, and it's a symmetrical game. 9 of 9 for 99 yards.
Right, and did you notice every time he throws it to Marion Barber, it's a floater? I mean, every one, you know, it's not like you know, he's putting a lot of juice on that thing or drilling it. It's just floating it out there to Marion Barber.
From the 30-yard line. Barber across the 33 to the 34-yard line. Barber has now carried the ball a total of 4 times for 28 yards. Jones 6 times for 10 yards and a touchdown.
You know, it surprises me that Marion Barber plays this much earlier in the game. I know that Wade Phillips likes to save him and keep him fresh for that 4th quarter because he's one of those guys that can really finish off a game for you, and he wants Marion Barber in that position. He's doing a good job over there as Flozell Adams on Trent Cole.
The hotel. Romo throws, and that's his first incomplete pass of the night. Try to go to his tight end, Jason Witten, running down the left side numbers, and the pressure was put on by Takeo Spikes, the outside linebacker. In his 10th year, came over in a trade with Buffalo in the offseason.
And I say that about Trent Cole because he's a leading sacker in the NFL. He has 9 sacks, so you always think, you know, that guy that is a leading sacker, he's the guy that you better get blocked, and Flozell Adams has been blocking him tonight and doing a very good job in this first half.
3rd down and 6. The Cowboys are 4 for 4 on 3rd down tonight. Out of the pocket, on the run, caught by Owens, had the first down, then backed off and then gets it again as he takes it to the 41-yard line. Terrell Owens coming back to Philadelphia, and Terrell Owens tonight has already caught 4 passes for 46 yards.
Yeah, you can see Lito Shepherd gives a pretty good cushion over on that side and then misses the tackle on Terrell Owens, but the pursuit gets over there and gets to him after he gets a first down. That was against 6 defensive backs. On 3rd down, the Eagles are giving them 6 defensive backs for their dime package, and that's a pretty big blitz package too.
That's Creighton in motion. Barber is the running back. Play fake. Romo steps up, fires, and the pass is a little bit behind Terrell Owens and incomplete. 2nd down and 10.
And we were talking about Flozell Adams against Trent Cole here, and if Flozell Adams can stay onside, and if he can get off when the ball is snapped, he is as good a pass protector as there can be in this league. When he has troubles, when he doesn't hear the count or he gets off a little late. But I'll tell you right now, I don't know what Trent Cole is going to do, but he can't take on Flozell Adams. He better start making some moves like go up the field and then come underneath.
He can outspeed him, but he gives away 70 pounds. 270 to 340. Barber, Cole reaches out to try to slow him down, and then finally Gaither comes in to make the tackle. 3rd and long coming up.
You know, Cole used to be a guy that would just come in pass rushing situations because he's a little undersized, but then he started playing the run very well, and now Jim Johnson never takes him out. He's an every down player. But I think he has his work cut out for him here today against Flozell Adams.
And that Eagle defense has its work cut out on 3rd down. They haven't stopped Dallas yet.
And if this crowd would get into it, they'd make it tough to hear the snap count. Although the Cowboys are going silent now.
Now trying to get into it. Still not at full throat by any stretch. 3rd and 8. And that is incomplete. And finally they hold on 3rd down. Witten looks for a flag and doesn't get it. Sheldon Brown with the coverage. And Dallas forced the punt for the first time in the game.
Yeah, and they still, the Cowboys have good pass protection. We watch Flozell Adams against Trent Cole. And Trent Cole doesn't have a chance. I'll tell you who did have a chance is Sheldon Brown. That was a good play.
Yep. Matt McBriar averaging 49 yards a kick, tops in the league. Kicking to Reno Mahe. Low kick. Mahe with a chance for a run back, a beautiful spin move to get it started. And then he's forced out of bounds at the 19-yard line. Almost halfway through the 2nd quarter. Philly with the ball. Dallas with the lead.
Live college football continues on NASN with an exclusive doubleheader. First up in the Big Ten, Mike Hart brings his Wolverines to Wisconsin. Then in the SEC, it's the Deep South's oldest rivalry as Auburn and Georgia meet in Sanford Stadium. A live college football doubleheader starting with College Game Day this Saturday only on NASN.
NBA Friday, live action coming your way here on ESPN. Carmelo Anthony, AI, and the Denver Nuggets in Washington to take on the Wizards. And, well, Carmelo did pretty well against the Wizards last season. 37 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, shot almost 60% from the field. For now, let's get back to Sunday Night Football.
Paid $180 million at that time, the highest price ever paid for a professional sports franchise. Westbrook stopped for no gain, and that was in there is Christina and Jeff Lurie. That turned out to be Johnny. Pretty good investment.
Yeah, how much green has he made on it since then? What'd you say, 200?
Oh, I think less than that. It was about 180.
And now you would say the franchise is worth, what, $1 billion?
Over $1 billion, I would say,
yeah,
sure.
So he's made $800 million.
About 5.5 times. That's a pretty good investment. They're buying a few good calls. Play fake. McNabb rolling, throwing, and it's caught on the right side by Brent Selleck, the tight end. It'll be 3rd down and 5. Speaking of good, well, as long as we were talking about making money, Jim Cramer is here tonight. I know Jim was here. I'm going to have to visit Jim at halftime. Find out what the futures look like for tomorrow.
You think he's thinking about that right now?
I'll bet you he is. He's waiting for those S&P futures to open. 3rd and 4. McNabb swings it to the outside. Brian Westbrook taken down, and a flag comes down. This has been a penalty-free half.
I thought the Eagles were going to get the ball up the field a little more. It looks like they're getting satisfied with those checkdowns and screens and that short stuff. And I really felt, you know, watching them practice on Friday, they threw more deep passes than I've ever seen in an NFL practice.
Personal foul.
grabbing the face mask. 15-yard penalty against the defense. Automatic first down.
Take a look. Scott Green didn't designate who it was. Wade Phillips has that look as if to say, who is it?
Well, it's right there. It's number 41, Terrence Newman. Corner. I mean, he gets it and holds on to it. I don't know that really looked like the 15-yard variety. It looked more like the 5-yard variety.
You would think if you couldn't identify the guy, it would be the 5-yard variety, right?
We don't know who it was, but we're going to charge him 15.
First penalty of the game. And this is Westbrook, who goes out of bounds at the 48-yard line. That'll be a gain of 8, setting up a 2nd down and 2 with under 6 minutes to play in the half. And John, again, to set the importance of this game for Philadelphia, they've dug a big early season hole. You get to 4-4 in the NFC. In the NFC, you're still in the playoff hunt. But if you lose, you're 4 games back in your own division, and they have a very tough schedule to come.
Right, and you know the thing is, I mean, you just can't go win one, lose one, win one, lose one. Somewhere, if you're going to be a playoff team, you have to get on a roll. And if they are going to get on a roll, tonight would be a good night to start.
Meanwhile, the Cowboys are 6-1, and everything looked great opening night. They beat the Giants, and then the Giants were 0-2. But now the Giants are 6-2, and next week, Dallas has to come back to this area, go up the turnpike about 90 miles, and face the Giants.
You're right, and that's gonna be a tough one for them because the Giants are playing a lot better defense now than they were early in the season.
Winners of 6 straight. Owens on the bench. Romo waiting his turn. 3rd down and 1. And this is Buckwalter and Chris Canty showing all muscles here. So they had a 2nd down and 2, and now they have a 4th down and 1.
Yeah, their play calling hasn't been very aggressive. I mean, I thought that Andy Reid has always been an aggressive play caller, and I thought that he was going to have that kind of game plan against the Cowboys. You know, go out, attack them, make something happen, and so far they haven't looked real aggressive offensively.
Rocket to punt. Patrick Creighton, who got married during the bye week, is back, and he'll watch that kickoff sail into the end zone for a touchback. 4:21 remaining in the half. McNabb frustrated. So are the Eagle fans. Cowboys lead 14-7 on Sunday Night Football.
The NHL continues on NASN with a live doubleheader. First up, Philadelphia flying to Pittsburgh to face Sidney Crosby and the Penguins. Then it's a Northwestern Division rivalry as Edmonton face off against Colorado. A live NHL doubleheader Wednesday night only on NASN.
What do I control? I don't control the bumps and the bruises, the crowd, or who covers me. I don't control the bounces, the shootout order, or for that matter, what happens outside the rink. There are a lot of things in life I don't control. But then again, there are some things that I do.
You're watching Sunday Night Football on ESPN, a matchup between division rivals, the Eagles playing host to the Dallas Cowboys. But right now, a quick reminder about coming up on Tuesday, UEFA Champions League Olympiacos takes on Real Madrid. Now let's get back out to Philadelphia.
Municipal Stadium, where years ago, for decades, they held the Army-Navy game. Long gone now. First down from the 20-yard line as Romo throws to Owens. Perfect pass, beautifully delivered along the left sideline at the 44-yard line for a gain of 24.
And they're just giving Tony Romo all kinds of time, and then when you try and press Terrell Owens, I mean, he is so big and so strong that he can just run right through a press. You know, I know that